Working with the independent sector can often allow the small and medium-sized producer greater access to a larger number of available outlets. So listen to what the buyers have to say. Listen to what they say about how to get listed, how to work with retailers prior to listing, the level of support that they're going to be looking for, and their focus on local foods and regional foods within their stores.
I think from the very start, the first thing that you've got to identify when you bring clusters together, you've got to get the producer first to think about the market which they're going into and to describe their products. That could be a formal presentation or even a verbal presentation, to describe their products in a manner which is going to be attractive to that outlet. So typically when we work with something like the independent clusters, because we've got potentially a number of suppliers that could fit in that cluster, what we've organised are a series of Meet the Buyer events where we look at the gaps that the retailer has, what opportunities are there, and then bring together selected suppliers who meet the criteria for that particular outlet to then come and present to that buyer of that independent to present their products in a formal setting. Things like the independent clusters are, I think, a very good way for businesses to expand what they're doing. It's the natural progression, I think, from farmers markets and festivals. It's a bigger market. It's where producers can get their product into a wider audience. Some of the independents that we work with have multiple outlets. Some of them in South East at Philco, for example, have got 9 different outlets across the South East. So it's a great opportunity for producers to get their products out into a wider market, to professionalise more what they do, moving from farmers markets and festivals onwards, and getting their products out to a wider audience. What makes this programme successful is we work with both parties. We're working with the buyers and we're working with the suppliers. So it's identifying the opportunity and putting in place, knocking the hurdles down, helping those producers to understand how better to work with that market, and encouraging the buyers to look at those opportunities, to work with local and regional suppliers, to understand that they can buy from those companies successfully. And we've got many examples of where that's been successful in product categories such as beers. We've had a lot of success with cheeses, with things like pies. Lewis Pies of Swansea been very successful with the independents that we've expanded. And that's because we've set the environment, we've set the scene, we've knocked the hurdles out of the way, we've answered the questions on behalf of the buyer and the producer, we've helped assist that process in a true mentoring fashion, which has made it successful.
Well, my name's Conrad Davis and I'm the owner of several supermarkets in the North Wales area, North West Wales area. We've got a supermarket in Pwllheli, which is a traditional Spar branded supermarket. We have a petrol forecourt in Pwllheli also with a BP branding. And we have 2 Eurospars, which were the largest Spar concepts. We've got one in Blaenau Ffestiniog and one in Dolgellau, and they're the largest style of a supermarket that Spar do. We serve about 25,000 customers a week throughout our stores this time of year, and that'll go up to about 40,000 in the summer a week. So we've got a lot of customers coming through the doors, so we really do focus on customer care. In terms of the mix of customers, it's so diverse, it's unbelievable. We've got the school kids, the school mums, you've got the students, you've got the young couples, you've got the older couples, the elderly people. Such a diverse amount of people coming in, because we've got stores that people come in for convenience products, top-up shopping, and the full week shopping. So we have a real good mix of customers, very interesting. Yeah, something we find is that one of the things that does drive our footfall is the fact that people do know we have something different. We do offer a point of difference. We've got good quality local food, and they come back week after week after week, and that's because of the products that are there, which is why it's so important to us. In just the last 2 years alone, we've listed an additional 30 new suppliers, purely because of the demand and the appetite for the consumer has out there for regional and local food. It is a real appetite out there for it. People are very aware now of food miles and helping out in the local community, so they want to be part of it. So we're really embracing it, and our consumers are demanding it. One of the things with working with local producers is that we have to have a lot of open communication, because a lot of them will go out and they'll just fly off and do their own thing. They don't even come and discuss this. Just recently we've had a producer come to us with a new yoghurt drink and it was completely wrong. The packaging was wrong, the labelling was wrong, there's no barcodes. So the biggest thing I'd say is you come and speak to us, come in and see us. We're more than open to talk to people and let's try and get it right from the off. What we do ask our suppliers to try and do is really become communicative with us. We'd like you to become involved. We'd like to get our staff behind it. So you need to come in, show the product, get the staff to try the product, get them passionate about your product, and then it'll help in selling it in the shop. One of the things that I would say the most successful producers are those that do communicate with us, those that do build up a relationship with the store manager and the buying team, because then that way they get behind it, they'll come up with ideas amongst themselves, they'll get their product listed in other parts within the store, we can multi-site it, we can do a lot more tasting, we can do a lot more activity with it. And it's them producers that come in, are proactive and really build up a strong relationship. They're the ones that are successful with us. With point of sale we do an awful lot of in-store and we'll work with our suppliers to produce our own bespoke. We tend to highlight things with a Welsh flag, we have the food miles listed and where we can we'll even have a picture of the people and try and associate that brand with the product. One of the big barriers at the moment is obviously the cost of distribution. It's a huge part of any business. So what we're doing at the moment with the smaller producers, we're offering them to drop at one store and we'll deliver it to our other 2 stores. So we're helping there in order to bring down the cost to us and bring down the cost to the consumer. When we work with a producer, we want them to make money and we need to make money. And we need to have the price band right for the consumer to be able to sell it. That's the key thing. We've all got to make money on this and we've got to be able to make it sell. So it's got to be at the right price for the consumer. In there, we also ask that they build in margins so that we can do promotional activity with them and that they can do in-store tastings and become proactive with us. So they need to build that into their margin as well. And typically, we'll be looking at around 20%, 30% for fresh food product. That's the kind of margin we'd want. But they too need to be able to make margin so that they can be successful in order for us to be successful with their product as well. We do delist things, but we work with people on why they're being delisted. For example, we've got a big cake producer, some of the lines just don't work. But we'll work with them and they'll bring out the lines just for Christmas or just for Easter, and we're forever adding new things to it. Because if one producer comes with 3 lines, it's better they come with 6 lines or 7 lines and 8 lines. It makes it more productive for them to come to us, more efficient, more margin, more money for everyone. The award industry is, people recognise it, and I would recommend anyone to go out. If they're that proud of their product, they should put it in for the awards. It helps us in terms of point of sale, helps us market their product better. They get loads of free advertising out of it. If they're that confident of their product, they should put them in for awards. The key point really, I would say, is communication. Speak to us so we can get on with each other, we can understand each other. We need to be proactive in what we're doing in terms of promotion and marketing activity. We need to be continuously looking at the competition, see what everybody else is doing, making sure we are different, and just really to be working with us, really, to be honest with you, and don't work against us. Something that's been interesting, really, to be honest with you, is some very simple listing such as a bag of flour, to then developing that with Matt from Bacheldra in Montgomeryshire into being able to do a bag of flour that's a one-hit loaf. So the customer takes it home, adds water and makes their own loaf. So then growing that onto actually doing it ourselves in store and having an in-store bakery. And only this year we invested in putting a bakery in the store and we're now making scratch bread. And it's all started from putting in a bag of flour from Matt. It's been really interesting. And the same thing is with Jill's Place from Abu Dhabi. We started stocking a bit of a fish. It's gone to Blaenau, it's gone to Pwllheli, and it's been so successful in Dolgellau that this summer now we're putting in a fish counter. That's been the success of some of these brands that have come in the store. And the same can be said of Edwards Conway. We used to stock their sausages, and now we stock their pies on the deli counter, and we're branding up the delis as Edwards Conway. It's been very, very successful with some people, and that's because they've worked with us and been proactive and been very innovative with their products.
We're based around South Wales area, along the M4 corridor. We go from Port Talbot to Talbot Green, and we have 10 stores around that area. We have a wide range of customers, elderly, young customers. It's a big range. We service all of the local areas around the shops. My grandfather set the business up 60 years ago with the idea that we're serving the local community, and that is still part of the business. We accept with open arms any local supplier that has got a product that will work for us. A lot of products sometimes go into the multiples before they come to us, but obviously you know, anything that's worked well or has got a proven track record, we would definitely consider it, and we are proud to be stocking quite a few local suppliers' products at the moment. We're a big member of NISA Group. We get 85% of our stock through NISA. They're supplied as a national business, and they actually have 700 members, and of those 700 members, in total they supply 1,500, around that figure, 1,500 stores. They supply us direct to the shops, but with the remaining percentage, we deal locally. I mean, you know, any local producer needs to contact me, and then I'll look at the viability. And you know, either I would pass my details on to NISA, their details on to NISA, if I felt that the product was a national product and it's good for everyone in the UK. NISA would listen to us because we're one of their main customers. So it would help that small supplier maybe getting into a national portfolio, or if it's not quite up to the national stage, then we would obviously entertain it in our shops. We have a buying office, so yes, they would contact us there, and we would then assess the viability initially, and if it looks good, then we would conduct, you know, like an interview and just find out a bit more about the product. If you were to present to me a product now and it's good, I know I can sell it, I would take it now. So it could be a couple of hours or it could be a couple of days. In the stores we have different spaces available for point of sale to be displayed. So it can be any size point of sale. We can have barkers that go on the shelf. We could have shelf talkers, anything like that really that helps identifying the product on the shelf. At Philco we do like doing buy one get one free, so we've even done sort of buy one get two free. For new products I wouldn't really recommend that as a route, because it's very hard to get customers to buy more than one product if they don't know what it's like to start with. So what I tend to do is, if we can organise some sampling along with maybe a representative of the business handing out coupons for a reduced amount for the product. That helps because obviously the customer can try the product there and then they can get a coupon for saving, and it's like a real incentive for them to take the product home. Christmas is a very big time for us, same as everyone else. Easter is actually one of the main trading times for us, because obviously people are buying groceries and all of the other things. Christmas is a lot to do with alcohol and chocolates and things like that. But I mean, the rugby's coming up now, and we buy all the Welsh clothing. We have all the sorts of things that you'd expect for St. David's Day, and we really get involved with all the seasonal activity that happens. The product would have to be packaged correctly. It would have to have all the usual legal requirements. We would help with, if the supplier hasn't got packaging at the moment, we would help with suggestions on how to make it for a good format for our store. All producers have to have some sort of advertising budget and the ability to promote their products outside of our business. Some people may think that's expensive, but it's a crucial part of selling products in today's climate, where you have to have a backup with advertising. anything that can prove that the product has run its course and has won awards and is well recognised, that's obviously something that I need to listen to, and the customers like all that kind of thing as well. It just instills the ability for us to put the product on the shelf, and it's a good way of us showing the customer that the product is of a quality. The main bugbear really is when suppliers don't follow through on what they say. If I do a deal and I buy a load of stock, I want to know what the barcodes are, what the pack sizes are, what all of the relevant details on the products, because when the products come into the shop, everything has to scan, so everything has to have a barcode. If it doesn't, then the customers don't know how much it is when they get to the till. The staff don't know, so it's just an absolute nightmare. So that's one thing, the admin has to be up to scratch and all the details have to be right.
We produce 7 different seasonal ales in a bottle, and we also produce 2 ciders, an apple cider and a pear cider. But for the bottles, nearly the entire range you can find in most Nisas, for instance, and they do look fantastic on the shelf, and it gives me a huge buzz when I go in there and see them all side by side. We have orders every day. We have a separate distribution centre, one in Swansea, one in West Wales and one in Caerphilly. We employ 69 people, we turn over £10 million. You can make the best product in the world, but if you can't get it onto the motorway, if you can't move it around and get it to your customers, it just remains a well-kept secret which has no commerciality to it at all. It's much easier to talk to the local independent people. It's much easier to talk face to face, to explain where we are and where we've come from and the amount of pride that we put in these bottles. It's also easier as well for them to understand that it's a niche product, so that they can earn a decent margin on the product. They don't have to sort of give it away. It's a high-end product and they can earn a high-end sort of margin from it themselves. Clusters have helped us tremendously. They've set up meetings with major sort of buying groups that we've been able to attend, and then once we get the customer to taste the product, I am so confident that when I flip the tops off and say, try this, I know that they're going to want to buy it, and then that creates retail pull-through. When they've got the confidence in the product, they're happy to introduce it. It enhances their range because it's locally made. It's visually very attractive. I do love to put on tastings in the stores themselves because, as I said, once you taste the product, you do want to take it off the shelf, and that encourages retail pull-through, and then that gives the confidence then to the Nisa customer to think, I won't just order 10 cases and they'll be sort of stuck there indefinitely. I'll order 10 cases and next time I'll be able to place an order for 20 cases. You have to maintain a certain level of sales. You don't want anything to stagnate on the shelves. You want to choose a product that people are going to literally think, oh yes, Thomas Watkin, that's fantastic, and put it straight into the trolley. And so we do encourage seasonal tastings, for St David's Day, etc. We produce a lovely summer ale called Cwrw Haf, and we love to go along in the summertime and say, imagine what this would be like in the barbecue. And conversely, at the winter time, we've got a beautiful, rich, warming winter ale called Cwrw Gaiaf, and that goes beautifully with stews and fires and long walks. And so, we encourage the products to be tasted seasonally, the way that you would shop seasonally for food. They're on the road, they've got their own areas, and they're targeted and encouraged to find more sales and to grow the brand. Since we started to bottle the product in 2004, we've obviously added to our portfolio, and now we supply the Nisas, the Eurospars, the national Tesco's and Asda, etc. But we also supply pubs, clubs, restaurants. We have a strong online business, and we also export to several countries around the globe. You can follow us on Twitter, you can see us on Facebook, and you can obviously access as much information as you need on the website as well. We do sponsor several rugby clubs, football clubs. We have great sponsors of, the local charities, local hospice. We've also got all of the Thomas Watkin branding all over our vans, all over our depots, and this is the way that we build a brand. We do aspire to have an advert on television, but at the moment we're so focused on reploughing in the profits that we generate into our plant and equipment, into training our people, that we haven't really got the wherewithal at the moment for a TV advert, but it is something we'd like to do in the future.
We the two Rhians, Rhian Williams and Rhian Owen, and we run a company called Sugar a Space in Llanrwst in North Wales. We do a range of homemade products, traditional mainly, of all the afternoon cakes into fresh cream desserts and 2-pack cream cakes, which are fruit flans, cheesecakes, and we also do quite a bit of a range at Christmas with Christmas puddings and Christmas cakes as well.
We've been supplying Conrad in the Spar in Pwllheli for a few years. It's great to work with him, and when the Eurospar came along, it was
not automatic, but it was expected that we would supply the Eurospars, and I think it was because the product is very important and the quality of the product sells itself. But it wasn't easy, was it, to make sure that everything was right?
I think the main thing is to work with Conrad. He's very good, he's very supportive of the Welsh companies, and if you work with him as well, that's a bonus.
When we were developing the packaging and the brand itself, we wanted something that would convey what Sugar a Space is about, but also that you're able to see what you're buying. It's not all covered in packaging, and that you can see the actual cake itself. So it does make a difference, the look itself, because people do buy with their eyes.
I think the packaging was to support the cake as well, and that's very important. When you've got products on the shelf, people tend to hold them, and then you need something to protect the cake as well.
We develop really products and try some new cakes and things like that. So it's important to keep, say we might do a speciality of the month. So it gives another cake or something for the customer to buy, but it keeps it interesting as well. For the workers in the shop as well, because they can say, well, have you seen what Sugar a Space have got this week, or have you got... So it's constantly working and making sure that you've got the quality, but you need that good relationship really to develop the business.
Well, there's Rhian and I, and then we've got Martin, which goes out on the road, and he's in the office, and then of course the telesales team. That's very important on a daily basis. There is another Eurospar on the cards at the moment. It's the dispatch for them, but we can always use a courier.
Because at the moment it is out of our area, but we've got to look at the logistics of that. Is it viable for us to do? Y ddwy Rhian yda ni, Rhian Williams a Rhian Owen, a da ni'n rhedeg busnes ar enw Sugar a Space yn Llanrwst yng Ngogledd Cymru. Da ni'n mynd wan ers 89, ac da ni'n cynhyrchu bwyd sydd yn draddodiadol, cacennau amser te o'r sponges coffi i'r bara brith, a hefyd da ni'n neud cacennau hufen ffres a llawer iawn hefyd o felysfwyd yn ogystal â cynnyrch nadolig.
A dyn ni'n sypleio'r Spar y Maes yn Pwllheli. Nes i ddim mynd mewn i'r siop ar y cnoc cynta. Dwi'n cofio mynd i weld Conrad 2 neu 2 o weithiau, ond yn digwydd bod nath o syrthio mewn cariad efo'r packaging da ni'n neud, a dyna'r ffordd. So felly mae'n mor bwysig cael cynnyrch da a packaging da.
Mae gennym ni berthynas dda iawn wir yn does hefo Eurospar a gweithio hefo'r rheolwyr a bethau felly, a mae o yn bwysig bod ni yn cael yn gweld mewn mwy nag un o lefydd ar y silffoedd hefyd, yn ogystal â bod gennym ni fatha pac o 4 o gacennau. Da ni hefyd yn y lle oergell mewn ffordd lle mae'r melysfwyd a'r pac o 2 gacennau. Mae hynny, ond da ni hefyd yn ogystal â hynny, da ni'n neud fatha be da ni'n alw'n singles, fel bod chi'n gallu picio di mewn ar amser cinio a bachu y flapjack Ceren-Stion i gael eich cinio.
Wel, mae'r 2 yn ni yn wneud y gwerthiant, ond mae gennym ni Martin. Mae Martin yn mynd allan yn edrych ar ôl yn cwsmeriad ni, gwneud siŵr bod bob peth yn iawn ac yn dod â cwsmeriad newydd i ni. A wedyn mae gennych chi'r sales team yn yr office yn ffonio'n ddyddiol, ac mae hynny'n holl bwysig bod hynny'n gweithio'n iawn.
Yndi, achos yn fanno mae gen ti'r cysylltiad dyddiol a tysa rhywbeth mae rhywun eisiau wybod neu eisiau mwy o wybodaeth am gynnyrch, mae'r person yny'n gallu rhoi yr ateb yn gyntaf.
Mae yna fwy o Eurospars yng Nghymru. Dyn ni mewn cysylltiad efo un ar y funud a deud y gwir. Yr unig beth bod o allan o'n dalgylch dosbarthu ni, felly mi rydyn ni'n gweithio ar hynny a gweld beth llwn ni gyflenwi yn fanno. Wel, mae'r cynnyrch yn holl bwysig. Dyna beth ydych chi'n gweithio ar gyntaf, di'ch cynnyrch. Wedyn, mae'r pecynnu, mae hynny'n holl bwysig hefyd i ddenu'r llygad. A'r
berthynas wir ynddo, perthynas sydd gennych chi hefo'ch cwsmer, achos ar diwedd y dydd mae'n holl bwysig yn dydy bod chi yn neud yn siŵr bod chi yn cynnig be mae'r cwsmer eisiau hefyd, achos sag di o'n mynd i allu werthu fo.
A gweithio hefo nhw fel tîm.
Dyna un rheswm da ni yn rhoi fatha blasu neu sesiynau blasu ac yn mynd allan i'r siopau neu, so mae'n bwysig cydweithio, ond dyna beth sy'n ni ddeud.